welcome to a new episode of Charting from Blank, purely technical analysis based series where I take a request from someone in the Utopia Discord and do a full rundown multi-time frame analysis on a chart. This week's request was from a member in Utopia on VANRY, not a coin I am familiar with or have traded in the past, so always nice to move into these episodes with an open mindset and no prior trading history with something like this coin. So we're going to start on the higher time frame and work our way down. Bit of a prior monthly support area here, right? We had 2 months of support followed by what we have is current breakdown, and then a higher time frame, like higher time frame monthly range high, and then a monthly resistance, and then we've got like all-time high up here, right? So I'm sure if we go into the lower time frame, we can see how this monthly range plays out. We have this sort of monthly range area here, which is built up with those monthly candles. Obviously it's not too accurate, but usually what I do is line out the monthly range and slightly adjust it on the lower time frame to match up with the daily or weekly, essentially. Right, so we can see that on the weekly, personally I like to draw ranges to bodies of the candles, but we can look at this and say, if the monthly does continue to close under 0.15 on VANRY, there's probably a good chance it's going to go lower. We can see that we have this sort of monthly fair value gap here. Right. It is a newer listing coin. This is the most history I could find on the coin on TradingView. It's only a 7-month coin, been listed since basically just before the new year, so fairly new coin. Definitely keep an eye on this monthly fair value gap below for a spot entry, I think. Seems like if the weekly can't reclaim this sort of, the weekly or daily can't really reclaim this monthly level, then I think there's a high chance that this monthly fair value gap could get filled lower. So if I sort of draw around this monthly area, I sort of draw it like here. So for me, we could say that's clearly a key level for us. It's around that monthly region, right? Resistance, support, and then flip for resistance. So a reclaim above 0.15 can be positive for VANRY, and potentially look for a move towards that monthly resistance, right? And then again, I'll do the same thing here and sort of adjust this monthly area here. So for me, it's a bit more accurate representation of the range. We had an attempt to break from that range back in May and June, and failed to do so, accepted back inside the value and traded towards range lows. So clearly we got some levels up here to work with as well, right? And that's that monthly resistance up there. So I think if I was going to look at the lower time frame here, some nice momentum forming for VANRY, but with this imbalance below, it definitely puts price in a tricky position of an entry, right? I would struggle to take an entry with the idea that we have this higher time frame imbalance below that could get filled. So for that reason, with the momentum div and the potential 3 drive into this area, right, we got this sort of like 1, 2, 3. So maybe we look for the third 3 drive into this monthly fair value gap on VANRY for an entry. Equally, if it doesn't give this option, right, which would be option 3 for me, option 1, sorry. draw the path. So that would be option 1, to form this sort of 1, 2, 3 drive into the low with the rising awesome oscillator, momentum div, and potentially a third div on the RSI as well. If that was not the case and we did not get a sweep lower, then we would go with the plan of looking for a break above this 0.15 region. So that would be option 2. Break above 0.15, and what you have then is the the deviation under this monthly and daily higher time frame support. You've got the deviation and the reclaim, and then we'll look for a long towards the opposing side of the range. As a whole, VANRY almost 70% down from the highs. So definitely a place to start considering spot entry, and I think that place could be lower. Looking at the 4 hour, I actually really like the structure. In fact, but it brings me back to what I was just saying, right, about I would struggle to take an entry here given the monthly fair value gap below. I think this is definitely a nice sign for a bottom here with the deviation and the reclaim, but even still I would want to see a break above 0.15. If it gets that trigger, we take a long invalidation under there and target back towards the range high. Something like that. So right, option 1, looking for a break towards that monthly fair value gap, free drive into the low, take a long or spot buys into towards this region, target here, and a flip above here, and target 0.19. If this doesn't happen, then option 2, watch for a flip above 0.15, buy the reclaim, target the range highs. We'll have a look at the prior quarterly value area low, 0.15 again. We can see that area was a significant price point for VANRY back in Q2 of this year. So we'll continue to act as a significant price point until we can reclaim above there, right, which sort of ties in with the plan of option 2 here, right, was a reclaim of 0.15. Kind of yearly VWAP. It's kind of all that's tying in here. Even even trading below that prime monthly val, right, which we can see for VANRY acted as that reversal point for basically the whole of June, right? So I wouldn't consider longing into this area given it was a significant pivot point for price multiple times last month, right? So that would also tie in with looking for a strong break above this prime monthly value area low area, right? And then maybe we can look for a trade towards the VWAP and the value area high, right? So for now, look for option 2, which was a break above 0.15. If this does not happen, then we look for option 1, which was a break towards that monthly FVG at 0.12. That is pretty much everything for today's episode. Hope you enjoyed. Any requests for next week's, let me know. Thanks everyone.